Ladies and gentlemen, this RedGamingTech.com video. I'm going to be going through some latest information on a UK retailer, HMV, and their current financial woes. Now, it wasn't too long ago that Game in the UK, which is of course a retail store, and also an internet business, were suffering very similar problems, basically, where, well, to put it bluntly, they were unable to pay various creditors and so on, and various games companies were refusing to ship out big orders, and basically they went into administration, and bad things happened, and they pretty much closed down some of their stores. This was caused by numerous issues, actually, including oversaturation of their stores in very small areas. For example, they also bought out GameStation, and in the area I live, it turned out that there were three game stations slash game stores within maybe 5 minutes walk of one another. So you can imagine what that was actually doing to their sales. Plus, of course, with the internet businesses that were selling games really cheaply, for example, Amazon, Shop2.net, Play, and God knows whatever else. Plus, of course, Steam, which affects, of course, PC sales. It just didn't really go too well for them. And it's not really a surprise that HMV are also having similar issues. Its share prices fell, 40% yesterday, which was published on Friday the 14th of December, of course, 2012, after its boss warned that it may not be able to continue trading in the near future. HMV's cash flow is negative 9.4 million at the end of October, following a surplus of 7 million. That's the previous year. HMV is in debt by some £180 million, which is not a small chunk of change, to be honest with you, whatsoever. And Chief Executive Trevor Moore said HMV may not be able to meet its sales expectations for the year to April 2013. As a result, the terms of the bank loans will likely not be met in January and again in April. And like-for-like sales fell basically just over 10% in the 26 weeks of 27th of October, with HMV saying product launches were held back to avoid clashing with the Olympic Games. It secured 40 million in financial support to help it survive. Obviously, with Christmas period coming on, it's fairly likely to say that, well, it's its last hope, to say the least. Anyway, Moore has said store closures and administration are not part of our plan. I would think not, Mr. Moore. I would think not. It's been a tough first half, but with reduced losses and a difficult market, we've continued to grow share. It's worth noting, however, that contrary to this, retail analysts remain unconvinced by HMV's outlook. However, with some saying its troubles are, and I quote, unsurmountable. So, not exactly great sterling work there from HMV's bosses. And also, Mr. Moore has said, we will start discussions with a syndicate of 8 banks early in January when we know exactly how Christmas and New Year sales have gone. Again, Mr. Moore. It's not really a surprise, to be honest with you, that, once again, HMV are having issues. It's been on the cards for a while now, and I don't really know that many people who are in my age group who shop there, to be honest with you. I mean, anyone from 18 to, early 30s typically just avoids the place because of a few reasons. One of them, and primarily because the main reason that we enter there is to buy either music or movies. And they'll sell like a Blu Ray for like £18. Not all the time, obviously, but quite a lot. And you can get it cheaper elsewhere. It's that simple. Um, Stores, supermarkets, and of course online. It just beats it. It has been worth noting, however, that they have actually been releasing some games at pretty good prices. And indeed, it's quite ironic because in the place that I am located, Game, which is now reopened in the town that I am in, has basically set up residence right next to HMV, and they will both trade prices on games. And despite, for example, that Diablo 3 is quite expensive in HMV, it may appear that, say, Mass Effect is slightly cheaper there than compared to Game. And it's just quite interesting in that respect that they're actually slightly more competitive, at least from what my own casual look, at least, in games than what they are music and movies, and that's just part and parcel of it. It's really difficult now for high street stores simply because of various problems, including their rental costs, staff. You know the drill by now. It's just very difficult for them to be as competitive as online. It's that simple. And other, electronic stores are having the same issue. It's not, amazing news. I am not really surprised. I don't think anyone's surprised that HMV are announcing this information. To be honest with you, but anyway, it's going to be a shame. Some people really don't like the high street stores like HMV because they accuse them of price gouging and so on, and I would disagree. And to be honest with you, I think that we don't want to necessarily lose them. I feel that one of the issues as well that everyone's facing right now, in terms of, and by everyone I mean anyone that's trying to sell you a product, either CDs or what have you, it's just that basically now the internet is becoming so much more convenient. As I mentioned earlier, we've got Steam, for example, for the PC, and it's just simply a case of it's just easier rather than even needing to do the download. That's why a lot of stores are now doing PC games, for example, via digital downloads, because it's just simpler. And of course, they're not exactly going to be able to compete with Steam, at least as yet. But at least, hey, it's something. And of course, a lot of these places are simply going one step further and just offering you a code that will simply work on Steam. Anyway, this has been a very quick video, but what do you guys think? Anyone who's actually living in the UK? Hopefully it won't go down, if only for this factor of the various people who work there. Obviously HMV's a fairly large chain, to say the least. I think most towns have at least one HMV in them. Anyway, I hope you guys have found the video at least informative, and I will see you around soon. Bye for now.